The zone wasn't capped. There's no penalty, Sassy.
Aside, and it's just you. Getting that 52 to work and getting a triple.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Splat World Series REWOUND, where we take a look back at some of those unstreamed sets and see what went down. I'm Frostix, and over to my left is Rose of Battle. How are we doing?
You got that right. I always get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited for this set. We've got Aeternus versus Milky Way. Both teams that we're familiar with. Certainly Milky Way.
I mean, certainly Milky Way, but Aeternus has a lot of familiar members of their own, and we've seen them in a couple of the past uploads of Splat World Series REWOUND. Looking at Aeternus, we've got Antoine on a lot of AoE weapons, Blaster, Mini Splatling, and also the Zap. We've got Jacerok on the Pencil, as well as the Zekofin Splatter Scope. We've got Reiki on their on the Stamper, and we've got Punchy on the Splashmatic and Zap. Captain Happy has been benched. We won't be seeing them, but we've been seeing a lot of Reiki and Punchy a lot, I'd say.
Yeah, they're both really strong, especially Reiki. That I feel like that 3429 really speaks volumes, even just on its own. The Stamper is a weapon that has such a high skill ceiling. You can be so good. I still don't think we've reached the entire top of that ceiling. I think people can keep pushing it farther and farther and farther. It's also one of those weapons that's really hard to play well. So when somebody pops off with it like Reiki does, it is phenomenal to watch.
Phenomenal indeed. But let's see if Milky Way have anything to say about this. A lot of more familiar players on this end of the board. Bran, Jared, .Q, and Shadowwind. Bran on their AoE weapons on Bucket and both Blasters. We've got Jared on the dualies. We may see a bit of Zap from Jared as well. We've got .Q on Pencil, and also Leader, seeing a lot of those from Q. And Shadowwind, we'll likely see them on Tent. Maybe there's a Mini and a Zap in store from Shadowwind as well.
Yeah, they do have a few different Zap options. I'm pretty sure I can even see Jared say that they all really, really like it when Shadow's on Tent, specifically. Shadow is just such a strong Tent, being able to draw attention. But for some reason, if they really want Jared on those Splat dualies instead, if Q's ever using her trusty E-Leader, then, you know, having Shadow as an option for NZAP is nice. But I know everybody's been singing praises for Shadow's Tent, as they should.
We've been seeing a lot more Tent this time around between Shadowwind and also Kronos on Content Cats. But going into the map selections here, so we're going to ban 2 stage, and then we're going to still select a stage afterwards.
Yes, we've already got the initial strikes coming in. Milky Way is going to strike out Sturgeon Shipyard, and Marlin Airport doesn't want to play on those. From Aeternus striking Urchin and Flounder. So we'll see what our first stage will end up going to looks like. It is Eeltail Alley for that random pick.
Luck of the Draw selects one of the first maps ever showcased to us in Splatoon 3. And, you know, Eeltail Zones is just one of those ones that you barely get to see. It's a really straight hallway all through and through. But I think holding down that high ground is important. If you can get Q up there, or if you can get Jacerok up there, I think those would be really good spots for your backlines to sit on.
Yeah, and of course, both of them are going to be playing those Chargers. Q opting for that Pencil this time. So Jared and Shadowwind, neither of them are going to be on that NZAP. We've got Shadow on the Tent like we expected. Starting out here, it's going to be zones on Eeltail, which means it's really obnoxious to paint that zone. There's so much garbage in the way. You want to make sure you're controlling that bridge, just like Jared is doing right now, poking away, getting that pick onto the Charger. Going to be really, really nice. Milky Way able to start moving forward off of this.
And Jared is skirmishing, already getting rid of, I think that's Ant on the blaster. They're already holding a lot more position. I think they need to move up with this moving 10 shield courtesy of Shadow. That is their opportunity. They're a little bit hesitant to do so, Rose. And that's going to allow Aeternus to start trickling in. I think Raiki's trying to find their way in, not having the Zap fully charged. You see some Zuka shots coming out from Milky Way as well. He was a splashdown from Ant, getting rid of Jared. But even still, 2 members down on Milky Way, 3 members down. Jared's just respawning, and now Aeternus will be able to get this zone.
Yeah, that splashdown really changed things for them. When you're playing at this level, you know exactly the height of that splashdown player, where they're going to be. So when that gets interrupted by a bridge over top of you, it's going to change how far they go up. That can be a little bit startling for a moment. They did that around that same spot for the second time, not able to really get a whole lot done at this point, but they're still counting down some points onto the zone. That is going to flip over into Eternus's favor, but Shadow is still alive, does get that pick onto the Zap. And, you know, Tent can peel a lot of attention and do their best just to stay alive here, draw attention away from the rest of the team. So somebody like Jared can start making some moves here and get also shielded with that Tent shield. But this is still going back and forth, all the way down to 32 points remaining for Aeternus, but this zone is still in neutral.
Yeah, it's neutral. They need to get a lot of paint and a lot more space, because now that Aeternus is back in control and they're still counting down, they're losing space every single time that tick goes down. Here comes some strikes from the Zekofin Charger. Jared's trying to move in. They're halfway towards a crab. They need to be making their stake onto zone now. Jared taking down Ant, and they go down to Bran. They're halfway towards their strikes here, but they go down to Raiki. That's a full wipeout, and Aeternus take game 1.
Talk about a rough start, but a strong finish for Aeternus, doing really, really well. Once they finally got that retake in, they temporarily lost control of zone, but they did not fully lose control of the zone. And so that really allowed them to get forward and really take that space and keep holding zone. Like you mentioned, we saw that Milky Way, when they did have control, didn't really push forward all that much. Do you think that kind of led to their downfall?
Yeah, I think just because they didn't take a lot of more space immediately, Aeternus was just able to take a lot more space that was just kind of laying in limbo. And from that point, they had a really strong chokehold on the chokes. I think that's just what Eeltail's all about. There's a lot of really narrow choke points that you have to charge your way through here. And Milky Way has immediately, it's now Milky Way's pick for the next match. It's going to be on Undertow. We're running dual zones for game number 2.
Interesting pick. I mean, having a slosher can be really, really nice. AoE weapons are nice and juicy here on Undertow, so that is a potential way to set up. There are places that you could set up for Q, where she can be very, very threatening with a charger in her hands, but so is Jacerok on Aeternus. So yeah, you hope that you're the better charger.
I think Q and Jacerok, they're definitely going to be running to Glass. Who will take that first, and who will take more space off Rip? I think also Glass is a really good spot for Jared to be popping a crab if Glass doesn't get all too crowded. We're already going right into the thick of it. We're seeing some paint off Rip, and now that Aeternus is, I think, trying to get some more charge for their cooler as the cooler comes out behind Raiki, J and Q have immediately taken Glass, and that is a dead heat sniper battle right now.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, but switching perspective here, Jared pulling some attention the other way, managing to stay alive still, which really is letting Gran go forward, take some space. Even if you go down there, Shadow's here to still hold this spot. You try to poke the charger when you can, but you don't have to fully commit to it at this point. Honestly, capturing the zone, the double zone on this map can be very, very obnoxious, but that Sim coming out, you know, we talked about Raiki. Raiki is so good. They still haven't capped the zone just yet, but like it was only a matter of time. Now they're going to have to stay alive here. Bran's going to be poking, but still, I don't know if they don't have a good retake like we saw in Eeltail. Things could be pretty rough for Milky Way.
And I think this retake is starting to shape up. I think we saw Jared bring out their crab. We're seeing Shadow and pop their Zuka. The lead has been lost. Q is a little bit out of position, able to jump out right in the nick of time. And Jared is able for the reciprocal alongside Bran to secure the wipeout for Milky Way. Now, they need to be taking a lot more space here. We're seeing a lot of initiative from, I think, Milky Way to take glass first. Brand is already pushed up past Divider alongside Q, picking up the soda. They have their strikes ready to go in case things get a little dicey as the strikes and the splashdown come out from both sides. Jared's in a pickle, and they go down in the 1v3. Reiki is on a sliver of health, and they're able to stay alive to use their Zipcaster in a future in a future retake.
How? Just like, I'm just better. I'm just gonna keep surviving here. Eventually goes down, but I thought for a moment Jared was gonna win that fight. That kind of seemed like a coin toss, and like he just lost the toss right there. Still, Aeternus is the one who is on the back foot here. They are gonna have to have a good retake of their own here. They're gonna use strikes, start getting some paint onto that zone, and start pushing forward. But what we're gonna need is a stronger hold on both zones. Well, they capped one, they couldn't get both. So it's only now that they've applied penalty points to Milky Way. And again, Reiki, that Zipcaster forcing .Q away, but gotta go down again. Still, you want to make sure that you're staying alive for these, but Zipcaster being what it is, sometimes just getting your opponent out of the way is super important. Jared getting the double right there. That's going to be really big for Milky Way. If Shadow can keep holding this spot, do you think that could be a really good move for them?
Speaking of Shadow holding the spot, I think one thing I really want to point out in terms of Tensorella is that I think in dual zone maps, it can pretty much single-handedly hold one zone. I think that's what we've been seeing a lot from Shadow, just holding down the right side zone for Milky Way. And they're able to keep holding this space just because of how they have one zone really locked down thanks to that Tensorella. But now we're seeing a lot more pushback from Aeternus, courtesy of those strikes, and now Reiki moving in with the Zipcaster, once again getting shut down by Jared. A lot of initiative from Jared to shut down Reiki whenever they choose to dive in. One zone is put into Blue's hand. It's in neutral. I think Shadow's trying to move in. Shadow's trying to also clear out that diving Stamper, and Jay is able to shut down Q before she could be chilling on glass for a little while longer here. The zone is almost fully capped by Aeternus, and getting rid of Jared, I think, was the last thing they needed to do to fully secure that, as they are now moving in 2 players down. That's a really solid stagger for Aeternus here, and they're out of their penalty. They've got all the time in the world to start counting down.
Yeah, if they just keep stalling for time, they're gonna have to stall to have both zones in. They can temporarily lose control, but as long as they then get the picks in when Milky Way overextends, they are threatening the retake right now. Reiki keeps poking. Reiki gonna jump away at this point. I think what we really want to see from Aeternus is be able to hold it long enough, but they don't. They slipped for a moment. Players not quite perfectly working together in that moment, not able to hold it on just long enough. They've got another set of penalty points they've got to wait through.
It's 38-32. The margins are slim. We're seeing Antitron going in. That's a back behind splashdown, getting rid of Jared, and Antis right back to assist in getting rid of Shadowwind here, because you need to take these 2v1s against Shadowwind or else you're going down. The zone is still capped with Shadowwind goes for 2. They have their Zuka ready to go. They get shut down by Reiki. They are a 1-person armada getting rid of Jared. The zone is right back into Aeternus. Reiki going for Q. It's 10 seconds left, and Aeternus take the lead. They need to go into overtime if they want to stop Aeternus, but I don't think anyone from Milky Way is there. No one is there.
No one can stop Reiki when the chips are down. It took a few rough Zipcasters to then have everybody start attacking the same targets together, timing them correctly. You kind of know sometimes when you're going in for the Zip, you're like, okay guys, 07, I might go down in this play. You gotta follow up what I do. If you're in that spot to follow up on me putting somebody out of position. Milky Way's Jared, I think really, like, Jared and Shadow together did a great job in this game, especially both drawing attention, staying alive, just lost the numbers at a very, very pivotal moment here when Reiki popped off, just slicing, dicing, and slaying, making sure you all can't control the zone if you're dead.
Like a hot knife through butter is Reiki right now. Reiki is a very, very hot knife, and they're slicing through it here. Aeternus now going to game number 3 of this play, all 3 sets here. What is in store now that Aeternus has the choice to ban Mincemeat here? Now it's Milky Way's pick.
Yeah. I
Oh,
can
brine
see
water.
banning the ones that they did. Going to brine water. I know chargers love brine water, but it is tough when you're fighting another aggressive charger. Like, Jacerok especially has been, a very aggressive ZF splatter scope, whereas we've seen Q. I mean, Q is a terrifying snipe rider. But still, kill time's going to be longer on a snipe rider than it is on a one-shot charger. So sometimes it's hard to get those picks, and you've got to really play that range. But it is gonna be Jacerok swatching over to the E leader. That is not the person I expected to pull out the E leader in this lobby.
Right? I was totally going to say, like, well, maybe Q's gonna bring out the leader for this one, especially because, like, if Jacerok sticks with the Zekofin charger, they've got that wall, and that way you could probably surprise them with the range here. Already, we're seeing Ant go down early, and now Jared popping out to the crab early as well. They're able to secure the cooler. They are going to be getting rid of Punchy on the zap. Now Jared and Shadowwind are trying to move in with this moving 10 shield here. Here comes the zip from Reiki. I think Jared unfortunately going down, and Shadowwind, once again, hawk knife through butter.
Oh, yeah, that is we like to see. We saw the Zipcaster come out. Reiki got a pick, then went down, but still going positive because we had Ant on that blaster, able to follow up on that. Now they're already down to halfway and showing no signs of stopping. That's 2 down on Milky Way. Jared's doing everything to try to stay alive. Does get a really crucial pick, but it looks cooked, able to stay alive just in time, getting away from that splashdown from Ant. Barely staying alive here, hopping this way and that. I don't know how Jared stayed alive through all of it and getting another pick, but still, we have to cap the zone. There's time. A lot of people are up. Finally, the damage is at least abated for now.
And Jared's able to survive and also keep that attention on themselves in pit. That way the rest of Milky Way can finally get their paint on the zone. And getting rid of Reiki first, courtesy of Ran, that's a really solid move. Getting rid of Ant as well, you want to be getting rid of these AoE weapons that have variable range. And Ran's taking a lot of initiative, getting rid of Jacerok and jumping back to safety. Shadowwind is staying on the edge of surviving. Ran unfortunately not surviving there. But Shadowwind with the mine, getting rid of Ant. Reiki's gone down too. These are really solid staggering. And you have Shadowwind right in front of your doorstep, and guess what? The doorbell has rung, and here comes a crab take from Jared. The lead is just so close to being taken, Rose.
And that is gonna swap right then and there. So we are at your doorstep. We are not leaving here. We are in your walls. We are controlling this, but they're gonna go down several people. That splashdown's gotta make sure that Milky Way can't run away with this. We are not even halfway through, only just now gonna hit this halfway point in the timer. And I would not be surprised if this game ends before the time limit.
That being said, though, I think Milky Way, pretty much their win con is to just keep putting that zone into neutral here. But right now, Aeternus, they're holding them back a lot here, and they're already halfway through their penalty. The strikes from Bran, they're luckily able to cap back that zone. Jared's going to be able to get rid of Reiki before going down to Jacerok, and they're really close, but then they get rid of Q, and Q gets rid of Jay in another dead heat sniper duel. Here comes Shadow, and they're popping their Zook already, and we're seeing Aeternus, they're so hesitant to move up here, and Reiki once again going down. That's not what you want happening. And getting Ants down as well, I think things are really dicey. You need to regroup, especially considering Milky Way still has some penalty points to go through. Jared's crab getting shut down, also really good. And now Aeternus putting the zone into neutral here. They're playing their cards, they're playing the game a little bit slower now, not fully rushing into it here. And now, I think now is the moment for them to start pressing on the gas pedal as Reiki once again slices and dices. And Jared trying to get a bit more, but they get wiped down.
Oh, that was so close. It's just a matter of not even a second, milliseconds. And Jared could have had that, but just had taken a little bit too much damage. Their win con, you mentioned, gonna have to make sure that they get paint on that zone when they can. That is only gonna neutralize, but the Zook is coming out. They've got numbers advantage. They just got to get the paint on the zone, and they continue to stall this. 1 minute left to go. Shadow still staying alive here, stalling, making sure to use this shield. They can start moving up now. They got the pick on that end zap, but also they know we need to play safe. We want to press the aggression when we can, like we're doing right now. Especially these zips on .Q, I think, are monumental for Aeternus, really making sure that they have a chance of getting back in and holding it, because Q's been doing a great job of holding them at bay whenever she is alive. That the rest of the team just needs to stay alive, but again, getting sniped, not gonna be great. I don't know, we've got 30 seconds left to go. Could this be a lead swap happening?
Oh, but Brand strikes always come in right when you need it here, immediately putting 31 penalty points onto Aeternus here. We're going to 15 seconds left on the clock here. Aeternus needs to be holding this zone for a little bit longer.
Yeah. They need to keep pushing. That looks like it could swap soon. If Milky Way does not get paint on that zone, Q's trying. That is going to be neutral. It's got to keep going. We're in overtime. Jared tried to get a pick there, but enough paint coming down here. Milky Way is able to take a game in this set. Gosh, I don't even know. You just watch. Both teams doing really, really well here. Jared doing a lot of work. Q doing a lot of work. I mean, honestly, everybody did. But over on Aeternus, Reiki zips. I feel like Reiki and Ant working together really, really well, pressing their advantage whenever they had it. With a couple changes at the end, they could have had a clean 3-0 on this.
Yeah, I think one thing that Stamper lends itself really well with is that it has infinite combo potential with practically anything. I think a burst bomb plus a single blaster shot, that can just immediately shut down someone, as we've been seeing a lot. Like, we saw Stamper be played a lot with S-Blast in the past, and Custom Blaster, kind of his close cousin, you know? But still gotta give tremendous shout-outs to Milky Way for surviving all that in the round 3 here. Aeternus still take the set, but that's a really dang well show from Milky Way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks volumes when it felt like Reiki was like, my goal is to zip at Q. I'm here to harass Q. I need to get her off of that perch. And, like, it works.
It does.
But I think it shows that you're like, yeah, we have to be aware that there's going to be a very talented backliner pressing us from relative safety. We need to make sure that we are not letting her get away with things.
Exactly. I think Reiki just having that hit list of like a really well-defined priority whenever you're going for that zip, that's something that you just really want to be sure of whenever you're going for a zip, because if you're kind of targetless and you're just kind of zipping all over the place, the value of the zip really kind of decreases. So then once you're going, when you have a very clear target to go for first, that way you can just leave a little bit more room for improvisation after you take down Q. It's really solid work from Reiki. But that's the set. Aeternus take it 2-1.
Really fun set to watch here. They have more to go in this one. Still plenty of games left in this Swiss stage.
Yes,